am the living legend of hair loss, the true alpha male. What is my preferred gender pronoun? Alpha male. Let's check out this. This is going to be a short video, I can tell you already. It's very straightforward. I made a video called Confusing Male Pattern Baldness with Temporary Stress-Induced Baldness. Our friend Santos, which based on the name, I'm already thinking this guy is Filipino. I say that because I know, based on my hair loss theories, your ethnic background has a lot to do with predicting whether you're going to go bald or not. I said it so many times. If you're Asian, like say you took a DNA test, I'm 100% Chinese. You may struggle your whole life to even grow a goatee. You won't have much body hair, in other words, but you'll be less likely to go bald. Santos, Filipino, most likely. This is a guy who is less likely to lose most of his hair throughout his life, if I'm right about that prediction. But let's get started on the actual comment. Quote, I broke my ankle about a month ago and got some issues going on family-wise. I just started noticing a little bald spot on the back of my head. I've been stressing out a lot lately, but I don't know if that is the reason. I don't know what's going on. I'm 27, end quote. All right, so I always try to be real here. It's important to me that I embrace my role as a father figure to my viewers, a manly mentor. And that means not telling people what they want to hear, but what they need to hear. I think that's something that you'll respect a person more if they're real with you. So here's what I'm going to say. Based on this comment alone, I think I'm sorry to hear that you're going through stress in your family, and that's I hate that about your ankle, too. That's awful. A lot going on right there. But I don't believe that's related to your hair at all. If you're seeing a bald spot in the back of your head, I think there's a good chance you might be the guy who appears to have a full head of hair his whole life, but has a bald spot. I'll give you an example of this, of a guy that directs a lot of movies, Judd Apatow. Everybody knows who that is, Judd Apatow. I watched a documentary with him a couple years ago, and he talked about that. He's like, yeah, if you look at me from the front, I look like I pretty much got all my hair. And then he turned around, and then he had, clearly just skin, no hair at all. And that's how hair loss affects some men, where they'll just have a bald spot right there. I've seen men in their 60s, full head of hair, until they turn around. And for all, I might be that guy, I don't know. By the time I'm 60, I may be bald just right there, and this stays intact. When we look at Norwood, it doesn't really address that. Now, that's assuming that this is 100% true. This is a general scale, just like my hair loss theories. I'm not here to say that they're true all the time. I'm here to say that they're not true all the time, but that they're true the majority of the time. And that's how the Norwood scale is. But ultimately, what's being described from this viewer, who I perceive as Filipino, is someone who, in theory, could be a Norwood 1, but has the bald spot of, I would say maybe closer to even Norwood 3 Vertex, but instead of that being kind of shaded in, I'd say if that were just completely bald to the skin, it could be that by the time then you're 35, you're going to have no hair at all in that one spot, but the rest of your hair is like this. So it's a combination of maybe Norwood 1 and Norwood 3 Vertex Severe or something like that. Like, the possibilities are endless when it comes to male pattern baldness. I definitely know guys who are Norwood 1. I know juvenile hairline guys, and yet their hair is so thin on top that you can see their scalp, they might as well be bald. I know guys like that. So it's almost like you can mix and match, And like I said, I very easily could be that guy by my 60th birthday, nearly 20 years from now, a little over 20 years from now. Could be. You look at me, yep, he's got his hair, turns around, bald, just in that one spot. So it's a matter of just assume that's what's happening, and if I'm wrong in several years, be glad I was wrong. But ultimately, what I perceive is that, and remember, I'm no expert, I'm no medical guy or anything like that. I'm a random dude with a camera and a YouTube channel. That's all I am. But ultimately, what I have observed from other people is if you're losing hair to stress, it's not going to be in just one predictable spot like that coincides with male pattern baldness. It's going to be more of a diffuse thinning where you're just going bald kind of all over. Or maybe you have some kind of nervous tick where you're pulling your hair out. I mean, people have done that too. I know a guy actually who he was pulling out his eyebrows as a nervous tick when he was stressed. So ultimately, and again, let's talk about your ankle and your family. Okay, the ankle's going to heal, right? The family situation I don't know about. But ultimately, my advice to you is this. Focus on what you can control, not on what you can't, which is what I tell everybody about hair loss. It's in your DNA if you're going to go bald or not. You don't spend your time and emotions and anxiety on things you can't control. You spend on what you can control. So whatever's going on with your family at age 27, I don't know. But my challenge to you is to think, of this turmoil that's going on, what can I control? What can I positively influence and maybe help this situation for the people involved in this family situation? And perhaps by doing that, by putting that positive energy forward, that can at least be less stress for you. It may have nothing to do with your hair, and I seriously doubt it does. But ultimately, the cure for hair loss is being able to overcome it psychologically and know that your hair is not your identity. What matters more is that you take care of your family. Because even the outsiders recognize that's a good man. He takes good care of his family. Who cares if he's got the bald spot and he's 33 years old? That's someone I respect. Your comments belong right here.